Hey everyone, today we're looking at a 10 Algethar Academy from the first week of Midnight, Season 1. At the time of recording this, I'd only been in these dungeons like once or twice. Algethar's a little bit of an exception because I did play it in Dragonflight, but there's a lot I'm still learning in terms of mobs and like boss mechanics, so the runs can be a little messy, but that's okay. It's, the first week of the season, and this is for my own learning and personal growth, and hopefully for you guys out there too. So for these like 10 to 12 key levels, what I'm looking to identify are like priority trash mobs in every pack, and what my role is in mitigating their abilities. What are the major damaging events, and what ramp timings do I need? What are mechanics that I can meld, and finding places where I can script using my bark skin ahead of time. I'm also looking to find patterns on when to move my life bloom around for priority single target non-tank healing. As always, I'm always trying to find ways to improve my DPS, but that's not necessarily mandatory in these low keys, and can even be detrimental a little bit later if I mess it up. So that's something I need to get away from the pre-patch and pre-season mindset of just blasting damage because I can, into being a bit more strategic. So these videos aren't intended to be like a dungeon guide or anything like that. They're more of a way for me to identify and improve holes in my own gameplay, but if they are helpful to anyone watching, then that's great, and yeah, I hope they're useful. So we'll start on in on this 10 Algethar. Alright, so these are the talents that I'm using. I'm running my sort of standard build.
2, 1.
Make sure the quality is good. So I'm running over, grabbing the haste buff. Pre-hotting the tank and stealthing so I don't grab aggro. Okay, here I'm using my Swift Mend to use the single target healing from my Apex talent. As his tank's defensive is running out, I'm applying Bark Skin, so that's a good use on that. I already used my Vortex once. I should have comms later on to try and identify if the tank wants me to push things for him. That'd probably be useful. So the tank should be running out of defensives. Right now I need to be focusing on soothing the skitterfly, so it looks like I'm doing that. It's getting a little dicey. Okay, cool. So that first pull didn't go too bad. I had run this once or twice since recording this video, and it's been hit or miss as to how the tanks are able to handle that first pack. Definitely soothing the flies is a helpful thing to do. Looks like the Death Knight was happy about that. Okay, do I have any pots? Cool. So the opening, there's no real damage coming out here, so you can pre-pot open with a improved rake into a rip and a frenzy. Get some of your damage abilities out, start to stack up combo points. That looks good. The Bark Breaker already went out, so tight stack, good. Everything's kind of going to plan right now. Get some swipes out for a little bit of damage. So for this Ancient Branch, you are able to stop the healing touch with your in-cap roar if you want to. Just keep in mind that that will juke a kick out from your DPS. So it's better to just let them handle it unless it's going to go off. Good. Everybody got rid of their bleed, so far this is going really well. That was nice. I did a good job holding on to my Soul of the Forest proc until the damage came out. Soul of the Forest does a lot of splash healing as part of your Apex talent. Does good comms with the ping. Awesome, so it's kind of rinse and repeat right here. There should be poisons coming out soon, I think. So we'll have to be mindful of that, but the group is blasting damage. Good. That was pretty clean.
Interested in our sports fields.
This looks like we're just moving on. There's nothing really going on with this this mob at all. I should just get out my improved rip, or improved rake, my rip. Yeah, not much to comment here. I only recently started playing with Wild Charge instead of I want to call it Tiger's Lust, but I don't think that's right. Tiger's Dash. I need to be a little bit more mindful about using the sort of cat form shadow step ability so I don't kill myself into like tornadoes and stuff like that. But really there's not much going on here to comment on.
Look at this Lish Raptorina. Wait, what are these birds doing here?
Alright, cool. Going into this next pack. So one thing that I have kind of thought about and identifying is the third pack of birds where you have the two alpha eagles or whatever it's called. There is a little bit of a 1-2 combo that goes on with the screeches. That's a place where I've identified as it's a good place to use your Convoke going into it or to pre-bark skin. You don't really need a defensive for the first one, at least on these low keys. But you definitely probably will need a defensive for the combo here. So not this pack, but it should be the next pack. Also worth noting that when he does do his like Screech ability, he puts a soothable buff on himself. I don't know what it does. I've never read like the tooltip, but it shows up and it's, you know, might as well get it off. Cool. So I should reapply. One thing that I've liked doing is pre-swift mending prior to packs. I didn't do it here, just to have that Soul of the Forest available. So here we have the two Alpha Eagles. So I'm going to be watching the cast bars to see when it's going off and see what I do. So here's a Screech. I do Bark Skin, and the second one's coming right out. Cool. So that wasn't as much damage as I was expecting it to be, but it's only a 10. I feel like on a, you know, 14, I may have some catching up to do. So it's good to identify that early.
Alright, now we need to clear out the big one. I will activate the goals for Lishrat. That is talent toss for you soft skins.
Cool.
Use them to get her attention.
Just chatting to see if we do win first. I think we do, yeah. So one of the things you can do is you can get two rejuves your life bloom out on the tank ahead of time and swift mend him. I did it a little bit early, but that gives you Soul of the Forest proc going into it, so you can consume that as your as it's running out. Which, let's see if I do or if I let it expire. I let it expire. It's too bad. But it's like free healing. Okay. Let's see if I refresh my life bloom. I do not. Okay, cool. Got it right at the end. I need to do a better job of making sure that I always have a life bloom out going into Swift Mend. Just because of how powerful the Apex talent is. The tank buster here does hurt a little bit, and I'm wondering if once the AoE starts to see if I switch my life bloom to myself or not. Resto Druids have a lot of talents that give like self-healing modifiers, so having your life bloom on yourself for that apex talent, it modifies the amount of splash healing that you do. I'm trying to dip in and get a little bit of DPS out when I have that haste buff, just because I know it's gonna affect my bleeds.
Shred of control.
Looks like the DK got knocked. I went over to res him. I didn't realize that it puts you back up on the platform. Okay, we're just getting some damage out. So I put my life bloom on the Death Knight. I think I just did that because I knew that I needed to put it out on someone. If I'm not putting it on the tank, right here I should be putting it on myself or a squishy DPS. Ideally myself, for all of the splash healing like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, I think that was definitely just a case of I need to get this spell to have the... I needed to have uptime. I'm convoking, I feel a little bit behind. One thing that I'm trying to be mindful of is, you can see down here, I have a Nature Swiftness button next to my Convoke. In prior seasons, I almost always Nature Swiftness prior to Convoke to empower every regrowth that comes out within the Convoke. But because Power of the Archdruid has been baked into Swiftmen now, with your Soul of the Forest, having the ability to decouple those is, it's really powerful. So I feel like going forward, I want to save them for 2 separate damage instances. Okay, cool. Alright, so I think I identified here the, when they get the little Shadow Meld looking icon on it, that's the person that's targeted, so it looks like the mage is targeted right now. He's going to get heavy single target damage. I don't know if I do it in this run. Yeah, I do it right there. You can see I swap my life bloom over to him to give him the triple mastery from Harmonious Blooming. I think that's going to be like my preferred strategy for dealing with those mobs going forward. That looks like someone pulled. Yep, cool. I'm holding on to my Soul of the Forest until he gets it. Proc my Apex Talon. Heal the mage, easy. I put down my Ursul's Vortex there to catch the little guys, but they don't really seem to be bothered by my Vortex. It looks like they jump out, hit me, and get pulled back in regardless, so I might stop doing that. Cool, so that's another pack down. So, I'm curious to watch this pact because I don't really know what these mobs do. I know there's some sort of cast that goes off that they do. So the Surge looks like it's a targeted one that needs to be kicked. Being this early in the season, I'm, like, for myself, I'm kind of still in the position where I'm looking less at the battlefield and the mobs and more at my party frames. I don't have a perfect sense of what's going on at all times right now. I'm just kind of playing very reactionary, and you know, fighting for our lives, which is not the best way to approach things as a, you know, preemptive ramp class. Okay. So one thing that I would like to do on these mobs, I think what I have been doing is I've been using my roar to stop surge casts and to stop the monotonous lecture. But what I think I should be doing is I should wait for the monotonous lecture to go off, because if the cast goes off and starts the channel, then my incap functions as a interrupt rather than just a stop. So that's something I should try and be a little bit more mindful of rather than just sending it. I wonder if I'm gonna send the Iron Bark on the tank after this. I did not. Good. That was good on me. Normally when I see the tank's cooldown sort of winding down, I send the Iron Bark just like out of habit. But that time I didn't, so that was a good job on my end. Okay, cool. So I did swap my Life Bloom over to the Death Knight. Okay, yep, cool. Life Bloom on the Mage. Did the free hots on him. Soul in the Forest. Looks good. I've been told that you can shadow meld that mechanic. I didn't have it up. I know that in the moment I tried to meld it to see like what I could do, but it was on cooldown. Cool. So here we have Veximus. I'm gathering my orb. Very much looking forward to doing 12s to getting rid of the affixes. It's just annoying to deal with. I think partway through this boss I forgot that the debuff has to like drop off before you get the orbs. I need to take a look at that. Yeah, that was a wasted convoke. We were very healthy, so I did not need to do that. Okay, this is good learning for me. I thought that getting the bombs puts a, or getting an orb put a dot on you, and it doesn't. It's just a, looks like it's just a damage amp. That was good. That was me not almost killing myself with the debuff. It's pretty wild how much using that opening sort of combat pot with bleeds and stuff like that adds to the damage for the fight. Oh man, those guys are coming in from the back. So I dropped my Vortex. Again, we'll have to see if it does anything. See, this would be a really good time for a Swiftman Major Swiftness. Hey, okay, cool. That's what I... Nice. And again, using that as its own sort of set of cooldowns leaves my Convoke for the next pull if I need it.
Shred of control.
The main reason why I had that macro down there is it also has cancel form in it, so it helps me make sure that I don't accidentally waste my my Convoke in like cat form or something. Cool, so I need to watch this pack. I know the Echo Knights do some sort of slam, and I just don't know what the timing is on it. So it looks like he drops an ad, the ad starts spinning, and it's right. Okay, so a couple seconds after the spinning. Drops the ad starts spinning, a couple seconds. Does he smash? Let's see. Different cadence. So that's something I need to learn. I miss having the, I think it was like a weak aura or one of the boss mods that had the cooldowns on the party, or on the unit frames. Kind of blind in here for that. I think it was that Mass Invis or something like that. Yeah, it was a mage thing. So I had been told that you can line of sight the smash, so I think I'm trying that out here. Yeah, it looks like you can. Someone must have done spell warding or some sort of party defensive for that. It didn't really hurt. I think that might be a good time on larger keys to cycle a Nature Swiftness Soul of the Forest into a Convoke for the first one and second one. Alright, trash pack down.
These are sacred halls of learning. Only those registered may access them. Learn from this.
There's nothing really too special about this boss. I haven't figured out where the damage is really coming from, other than if it's people eating orbs. So there's one on the Dispel. So I should probably save a Soul of the Forest proc for the Dispel, because that'd be an easy way to deal with that. And I haven't noticed too much tank damage going out, so I think this is going to be a fight where I may opt to keep Life Bloom on myself the whole time. Looks like I'm just kind of swapping it back and forth. I don't really have a plan. Oh, I am in trouble. That was scary. I should try and read up to see what causes the puddles to spawn. I don't really know. Unless it's a bomb that doesn't get dispelled or something. I hate this affix so much. That was a misplay on my end. I swift mended after I used my Soul of the Forest. Or sorry, I swift mended after I had used my Nature Swiftness regrowth. I should have waited a second to couple it, but not the end of the world. Poor mage. Awesome. So overall, that run went pretty smooth. We only had one death right at the end. I did learn a little bit about swapping my prio target life bloom, so that's good. Yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of that. Any constructive feedback is welcome in the comments too, and if you found that useful, feel free to go ahead and drop a like or a subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.